Hi guys, my name is Mitch. I'm the lead developer of the 3D Hive Builder, and today's tutorial is talking about reward items. Okay, so reward items can be used a number of ways in the 3D Hive environment. The first way it can be used, we can have a reward item for killing another player character. We can also have a reward item for killing a non-player character. And we can also create a reward item for losing or winning a minigame scenario. So I'm going to show you how we do that in the 3D Hive Builder. And just so you know, we're already starting off with 3 items because reward items are actually directly linked to our item library within the logic editor. So I've already created 3 of the supported item types. We've got an inventory item, a consumable item, and a seed item. And now if you haven't followed this tutorial, we have them online for you. So just go ahead and follow those tutorials so that you get to this point. Great, okay. So the first thing we're going to do is actually add a blank trigger, which you'll notice here creates a blank trigger template. I'm going to go click on that so we can start editing the settings. So I'm going to call this my consumable reward. And the trigger type is actually a reward trigger. And the subcategory is reward. And what you notice here is that our next panel allows us to select a reward item. Now you notice if I click on this box, we actually have our 3 different item types there. So this list will show you every single one of your inventory, consumable, and seed items in your item library within the logic editor. So for me, this is a consumable reward, so I'm going to actually click on the consumable reward here. Now the reason we have this reward trigger is that sometimes you might want to restrict players, and so what the reward trigger allows you to do is link an item and create your stats, your stat checks, your inventory checks, and your team checks. So I'm not going to go into too much detail about this today. There's actually a tutorial which actually goes through in detail what the manage check and action conditions are about. So that's all we need to do to create our consumable reward item, and I'm going to click save. And you notice that down here we have our consumable reward items. So now we're going to go ahead and actually create a reward item for each of the other 2 item types that we had. Okay, so let's create another trigger. Okay, click on the blank trigger template to bring up the settings. Okay, we're going to create a reward trigger, and the subcategory is going to be a reward item type. Okay, I'm going to call my trigger name. This one is actually going to be my inventory reward trigger. And I'm going to select my inventory item in the reward item, and I'm going to click save. Okay, and once again we're going to do it one more time. So create a new trigger, create the blank trigger to open up the settings. We're going to create a reward trigger. I'm going to create a reward trigger type, and I'm going to select my seed, the rice seeds item that I have in my item library. So I'm going to click that. It's going to be called my seed item reward. I'm going to click save. Okay, great. So what I have just done, effectively done now, is actually created my 3 reward with the 3 different item types that the reward trigger supports. So I've got my consumable reward item type, my inventory reward trigger type, and my seed item reward trigger type. So there's the 3 here. So now what we're going to do is actually show you how we can use these rewards in the editor itself. So I want you to go back to your main screen, okay? And we're going to look into the first type of supported feature that can use reward items. So we're going to roll over the game logic and make sure that you've already set up your game to be played. So you should have at least one team selected. So I'm going to click on my avatar pool to my team, and you'll notice that I've already added an avatar here, and what we've got here is select avatar kill reward. Now if we click on this combo box, we'll notice that we've actually got the 3 triggers we created. Now these aren't the items, these are actually the reward triggers. So remember that we have to create a reward trigger linked to an item before we can actually select our kill reward. So we can select any one of these. I'm just going to select my consumable reward trigger, and that's set up. So now what will happen here is that when this Chinese female character is killed in the game, she will drop the consumable reward trigger that I created that's linked to the item. So it's as simple as that. So let's go back. We're going to go back again. And I'm going to click on the logic editor. Let's go back in here. Okay, so if you click on your trigger tab. Now if you haven't already done it, I want you to create a new non-player character spawn. I've already created mine, so I'm just going to edit it. So let's click on the My NPC trigger, or create your own, and click on it. Set up a spawn and then a character trigger. Okay, now let's have a look down here. If we scroll down, we've actually got a very similar thing here. So non-player characters can have a reward item attached to them when they get killed. So we can select any one of those three. You'll notice it's the exact same list that was in the avatar pool's team reward, kill reward selection list. So let's have a look here. I'm going to choose my, let's try my consumable reward, I think. Oh no, let's try the reward trigger. I think I didn't do that. The inventory reward trigger. So now in the game, when I kill this non-player character, so a character that is not controlled by a user, this character will drop an item for me. Now this might be handy if you have, say, like a lion that drops meat and you have to go and collect meat in your world that affects stamina or food. So this is a good way of doing that. So this is showing you how we can attach a reward item to the kill function of a non-player character. Okay, and the last part where we can use reward items is actually in our mini-games. Now I've already created a mini-game. You can go and follow the mini-game tutorial to get to this point, but I'm just showing you now that when we add a mini to a non-player character, we notice we've got a bunch of settings here, but the most important one I want to talk about today is the losing item and winning item. Now this is kind of cool. Instead of just giving an item when a person wins, we can actually give an item when a person loses. And this might be handy for things such as curses, or you know, it allows you to open up other elements of the map if you want to, for example, or you give them easier questions if they lose this one. So, you know, this is a way of us kind of creating a functional tier system for the editor. But what we have here is we can select a losing item. Now you notice that it's the exact same list that's been in all the other lists of the reward items. So we can select any one of these. Let me choose the seed item. So I'm going to select the seed item for my losing reward, and I'm going to select the inventory trigger as my winning reward. And I'm setting my winning percentage to 50%. So as long as the user gets over half of the questions right, they will get the winning item. If not, they will get the losing item. Okay, great. So I'm going to attach the minigame, and there you'll notice what we've done here is we've basically created 3 reward items of different types, and we've attached it to a player kill reward, a non-player character kill reward, and also a minigame losing and winning reward. So they're the different types of rewards we support. Think creatively about how you might want to use these, but that's how we do it, and good luck in your game programming endeavors, and we'll see you soon. Cheers guys, thank you.